the San Diego Paranormal Research Society back in 2009, and she's been kind of going ever since. She's also a published author, and now she's actually doing some speaking engagements, investigating, things like that on the very well-known and haunted Queen Mary cruise line ship that is out in San Diego. And for many people who have either been there or heard about the Queen Mary, it's an amazing, place. And we're going to get directly the information straight from Nicole tonight on, are these so-called rumors of it being haunted true? What has her experiences been like? Things like that. So we're going to take some if people have questions tonight, we'll go ahead and take some callers. Our caller number tonight is area code 607-349-0410. You can also connect with us in chat on the DTM with the radio network site, and you can ask them there as well. I want to thank everybody who joins us every week. We've noticed a few weeks I've had to do some reruns, things like that. Many of you who follow me on social media have known that my health has not been very good recently. But I do my best to try to be here every week. And, thank goodness I've been doing this for so many years that I've got so many different archives that we can pull from. So even for some people who've only been listening to my show through DTM for the last year, can still have it seem like it's a brand new show. So, again, want to say thank you to everybody who listens every week. They're so loyal and so loving. I couldn't ask for a better group of listeners and followers. So thank you so much. Also want to say hello to everybody in our chat room. It's already building up quick. We have been having some problems with trolls in our chat room. So just a FYI, if we start to have problems, we may shut down the chat or lock it down. But if you're in there, usually everything goes well with the shows, no matter what. So with that being said, hello, everybody, and let's get the show started. Nicole, are you there?
Yes, I sure am.
How are you, hon?
I'm doing good. I just want to say really quickly, for those that have never been to the Queen Mary, it's actually located in Long Beach, California, which is only about like an hour and a half from San Diego. Just before I forget, I wanted to make that clarification.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is right.
You know what? I wish it was in San Diego, and at one point...
Yeah, because that's where you're at, right?
Yeah, which is interesting, but unfortunately, where our cruise ships are located, the forefront part that's big enough for it, so Long Beach is out, and it's, Long Beach is only like an hour and a half, without traffic from me, so, still pretty close.
Yeah, that's like out here in Northern California, out in the Bay Area, out in like Alameda and San Francisco area, we have the USS Hornet out there, and they do a lot of events and things out there on that ship as well. It's a very interesting location to go to and investigate. So we'll definitely, so many people know about the Queen Mary. I mean, it has been so well known and talked about for years in the paranormal world. And before we get to that, I always kind of wanted to start like, what exactly led you to get into investigating the paranormal? Because usually there is a very personal reason behind it.
Oh, absolutely. And I first want to say thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be on and talk to you, and I hope the listeners, enjoy the show. For me, it's been, I've always said that I feel like I was born to be a paranormal researcher. I've always had a very innate passion for dedicated paranormal research, and I'm one of those that has grown up my entire life having experiences with the paranormal. My earliest experience that I can remember is back when I was about 2 or 3 years old, and my parents and I lived in a very active home in Las Vegas, Nevada. So, and I'm an only child, and I was really the only one. My parents really weren't. I mean, if they were sensitive to it, they didn't really make themselves, they didn't really make it, known to me at all. But I've always just been one of those to have just interactions with spirits and that sort of thing. So that's actually what I think has led me into being interested in the paranormal. But it wasn't until about the year 2000, when my grandmother died of congestive heart failure. And I remember getting the call. I was attending the University of Arizona at the time, and my mom called me, and I knew something was wrong. It's just my mom and I have that type of relationship where if I'm away from her, she calls, I can instantly tell whether something, sad has happened or something bad has happened, that sort of thing. So I remember saying, what's wrong? What's wrong? She said, sweetheart, I love you. I love you very much. But Grandma passed away, and of course, I cried and, did my thing, was just devastated. So came out for the funeral out here in San Diego. My whole family's from San Diego. And then after the services, I went back to Tucson. And for the next couple of weeks in my apartment, I started having very odd experiences. The doorknob, specifically my front door, and the door to my bedroom would rattle of their own volition. And I tested them to make sure it just wasn't something, that I could logically explain away, and it wasn't. And I must say that my grandmother, when she was alive, she was always concerned about the doors being locked. She was always concerned about, the house being safe and that sort of thing. So I started to wonder at that point. I'm like, okay, this is really weird. And then a couple of nights later, I was studying on my bed, and I felt this disembodied hand caress my face. I didn't see anything, but it was something that I felt, and I instantly knew it was my grandmother. I don't know how to explain it. I just knew it was her, and I even talked to her. I was like, oh my gosh, Grandma, and I was just almost shocked by it. And then after that, after the doorknobs and that particular, disembodied hand on my face, I started to have a very profound experience of seeing my grandmother's apparition that would appear to me on a nightly basis for almost 2 weeks. Before, and my mom and I have talked about this, we had to talk with her after this, happened for a couple of weeks. We had to talk to her and say, Grandma, you're free to move on. You can go home. The family's okay. We're okay. You're free to go home. So after we talked to her openly about that, that's when the experience was stopped. But the first night that I saw her apparition, and it was very brief, but she was almost lit from behind, very solid, as if, you or I were standing in the same room together. It was very solid. She had this very similar looking flowery house dress that she wore close to when she passed away. But interestingly, she looked about 10 years younger than when she passed away. It was peaceful and everything, but she just kept making that appearance to me for about 2 weeks. And then like I said, that's when my mom and I talked with her openly. I was in Tucson, my mom was in San Diego, but we made a point of at the same time talking to her. And that's when the experience was stopped. So I have surmised, and I know in my heart that she was able to finally move on. And she's up spirit now, thank goodness. And she comes back every once in a while to, say hello, especially around the holidays and that sort of thing. But that one experience is what catapulted me into wanting to investigate the paranormal. Because prior to that, I had only had my personal experiences, and I've only studied it. So that experience with her was really what made me want to, work with teams and investigate the paranormal. So.
Wow. Well, and again, I always tell everybody, almost everybody that I've ever met, except right now, because now it's kind of like a novelty. Everybody, because of the shows and stuff, everybody wants to, investigate. But for those, I've been doing this my whole life and publicly investigating for 12 years in the public eye. So it's usually people do have a very personal reason that led them here, into the paranormal things. more than just an interest or a fascination. It's usually, something very personal has happened, and so although, they investigate, they'll help other people, it's usually, kind of an alternative to find their own personal answers of what's going on around them or what's happening.
Absolutely. It's almost like for me, it's a personal journey that I want to discover more of what's out there. I am personally a believer, based on my experiences, that, spirits, ghost spirits, whatever you want to call them, that they do exist. But I still have, as many of us do, questions. Why? The what, when, where, why, and how. Why do they? Are the theories that we currently know about, are they just theories, or, is there some truth to that? So it's a quest. It really is. It's just a lifelong quest for me. So
now, what are your thoughts? So, say, from your first experience to right now, how is this road or of answers really kind of been for you? Has it kind of exploded where you've got all kinds of answers? Have you run into brick walls? I mean, what has it kind of helped you understand better?
Well, I've always known that back when I had experiences back when I was younger, I always knew that it was something that's otherworldly, I guess. But now that I've been, doing paranormal research and investigating like you for about 11, 12 years now, I feel like I have a little bit more knowledge as to what we are dealing with, differences between, for example, ghosts and spirits. I have more knowledge of perhaps why certain energies, stay in this plane versus becoming spirit. So I feel that when I was younger and I didn't have the knowledge base and the experience I do, it was just something a little bit more ominous to me now, because I've been doing it and I've been, basically engrossing myself in, dedicated paranormal research. It's become just more of a way of life, I guess. I'm not really sure if that really answers the question, but I mean, I consider myself a student of the paranormal. I am a firm believer that there are no experts in the field. I know that some people, I don't have all the answers. No one does,
Right.
I mean, I can just draw upon what my theories are, what I've experienced, what I've studied, and that's it. I can't sit there and definitively say, this is exactly what is going on in your home. And, speaking about my paranormal team, the San Diego Paranormal Research Society, we don't set out to prove the existence of ghosts. We're all believers, but when we have a client, for example, especially a private resident, if we cannot determine a logical explanation, and that's what we always strive for first, if we cannot determine an explanation, a logical, natural explanation for why something odd is occurring, we will leave it at, this is just something we can't explain. We're not going to lead on the client by saying, oh, yes, you definitely have, this particular spirit or this particular ghost, because when it comes down to it, we really don't know. So
right.
I like to call myself a student of the paranormal. I mean, it's an ongoing learning process. So.
Well, exactly, and that's what I tell people, all the time, because, I've done hundreds of interviews myself on, television and radio shows and things like that, and, they'll want to introduce me as this paranormal expert, and I really take offense to that, and they're like, it kind of throws them for a loop, because they're like, you're upset because we're calling you an expert? Like, most people would like to be considered an expert. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't, because, and I'm not most people, because, yes, this has been my whole life. I mean, I've been able to see spirits since, as young as I can remember. The paranormal has been my reality, always. And so, yes, do I know a whole lot about it? Have I had tons of, personal experiences and learned things along the way? Absolutely. But what people don't understand as well is that an expert is once you pretty much know it all. Like, that's the go-to person that are going to be able to, if nobody else can get you the answers, they will. I learn new things every single case. So, how in the world can I say, or allow somebody to portray me as an expert when I feel like, this is what, as researchers and investigators, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And if I'm to the point where I can no longer learn, then I really don't feel like I'm a benefit to anybody, because there's just so much out there still that even though I know it's the truth and I know it's a reality, other people want, to be able to see that evidence and that proof. And, so, although I'm not out to prove anything, to anyone, per se myself, I think that there's a benefit of all of us, continuing to get out there, research, contribute to, adding evidence and proof of the paranormal and things like that. But again, it's like I've never met anyone who, knew everything. I know some really, really smart people, but I can still stump them. If I ask them, a straight-out question, what is this or why is this, or, they even get stumped and can't answer, the question. So, why would anybody want to consider themselves a paranormal expert unless, and what I think it is more, is ego. We are seeing a big jump in egos in this field, where...
Oh, I'm so glad that you mentioned this, because, I mean, first of all, this is a pseudoscience. I mean, how can anyone profess to be an expert in something that hasn't been proven? I mean, you just can't. You can't. But I agree with you. I've seen a huge surge of ego in the field, and in my personal opinion, I don't think anyone can be a very successful investigator and have the ability to remain objective like you need to be if your ego is sky high. It's just like oil and water; they don't mix. And
absolutely.
I'm baffled by it. Very baffled by it, because I'm very selective with who I work with in the field because of that. I just don't want to be around huge egos. And to me, there are some people in the field that, in my opinion, maybe they don't mean to exploit it, but because maybe they're fulfilling a need, or, maybe they want to get attention, whatever the reason, they're using the paranormal to do that. And I just find myself getting upset at that, because, we are dealing with departed souls. And, we need to treat them with respect, and exploiting, even though a person doesn't intend to, it can really wreak havoc. And so it's just one thing that really drives me nuts.
Oh, yeah, I so agree. The thing, what is your feeling as far as, para-unity goes? Because, I know that at the beginning, I'm very, much for para-unity. I network with all kinds of people. I met some amazing researchers, investigators out there. When I've got clients that, are out of the area and they need help, I can call upon, all these kind of things. But now you see a large group of, new people coming into the field that are saying, oh, para-unity is not possible, it won't work, it's not going to ever happen, people are, full of it if they think it will. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that it exists or doesn't exist? And if so, do you think that it can continue, or do you think that this field is going to be torn apart by, all the newcomers and all the issues that are popping up in the field?
I think one of the reasons why I don't feel that there's para-unity is because you have some people, or a lot of people in the field, that may not share the same goals. So if your goals are wanting to learn and wanting to really help clients and really devote yourself to dedicated paranormal research, you may be able to create a para-unity with those like-minded individuals. But if you have, everyone that's in the field, some are thrill seekers, some are in it to try to get attention, some are in it for ego purposes. It would be hard for someone who's really innately passionate about true, genuine paranormal research to to really create a unity with someone that doesn't necessarily share those goals. So I think the whole term is used loosely. I mean, I don't see para-unity. I'm like, if people could come together and have the willingness to share more of their ideas, to share what they've learned without competing, like, oh, I have the best piece of evidence, mine's better than yours, and oh, we did this, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, if people can, and when I say people, everyone, if people can put that aside and really focus on what the goal should be, getting more knowledge about the field, helping clients that are in distress, what have you, then I really don't see para-unity, It's
right.
to me like the cult of research concepts. And I know that, certain people want that. There are many people that want that, but as long as you have people in the mix that exploit the field, don't treat it with respect, have huge egos, I just don't see it becoming a holistic type of community.
Yeah.
So, hard.
Well, yeah, I definitely can see what you're saying, too. And, I mean, I guess, I've been doing this for so long that I have made some very, very good, you met some really good people out there,
Oh, yeah,
like you said,
absolutely.
Are like-minded and truly, are coming together to, benefit, to help the clients, do what we can to help. But because this field is getting so large, it is making it harder. And what I'm also seeing every day in social media as well is that, you'll start out and say with a group and, it's like everybody's on the same page, and then all of a sudden, somebody decides, like, they want more attention or they want to do their own thing or whatever, and I'll see one day everybody's, great, they, love each other, and then they have some kind of falling out, and then the next thing you know, all they can do for the next, 6 months is, trash the same team and people that they work side by side with or other teams. And
right.
There seems to be a whole lot of negativity, as well as even with people posting pictures. We know that there are these ghost apps out there that people can, put a ghost into any picture that they take. And so we get a lot of people that are out there who are trying to scam people and create these and put them out there to trick people, stuff like that. And so that is causing some problems. But there are a lot of true investigators out there who are new to the field, and because there is no quote-unquote real training in this field, they're not really sure of things that they are capturing. So they want to post it online to get people's opinions, but instead of getting opinions, I see that they're, like, literally being torn apart to the point that I wouldn't want to, post anything. I'm just like, really? How is this helping anybody? If anything, as people in the field who have more experience, you would think that we, those are the people who should be, if need be, pointing out that, oh, no, this is, this is caused by this or the shutter speed or, whatever, to help teach them instead of, just completely, trying to, call them out and say they're faking it on purpose and they're, scammers and things like that. I think that, with a lack of education in this field or training, so much is just left up to what people see on TV. So they're really just kind of winging it. And
yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And there's a way to, formulate your words so you're not sounding like you're being overly critical. Someone posts a picture and maybe that particular person is aware of the app and is trying to fool someone, or maybe that person, like you said, is new to the field and maybe has not had a lot of experience analyzing photos and maybe doesn't have a lot of experience knowing all the different phone apps that are out there. So, it's important just to make sure to really think about how you respond, with your words. I wouldn't want to indirectly offend someone. That's just not what I would want to do. And yeah. I mean, it's just, you have to be very careful. And there are a lot of people, like you, I've met so many great people in the field that I consider trusted colleagues and friends, and there are a lot of good people out there. I shouldn't say good, but a lot of people that are doing good work is what I meant to say. So I just think that, some people just have different goals. So, and that's okay. I mean, if some people want to be a thrill seeker, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely not.
There's nothing. So it just, I guess, depends on what your goals are. But I think if you're one of those, and I would like to think that there are very few in this field that go around disrespecting it for other people, then that's where I have a problem. But you know what? You're not going to change people. It's not really worth your time or my time or anyone's time to try to change these people. I guess they'll just learn for themselves. So.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I mean, one of my things, is, yes, there are a lot of, thrill seekers and people who, especially the younger generation, that are very fascinated by the paranormal. They see the scary movies. They think that, or the shows. They think that, wow, that would be so cool to check that out. My only issue that I have, because, of course, we need researchers out there. We need people out there gathering. I mean, that's the core of, bringing this, forward and bringing forward evidence to prove this. And so, we definitely need people out in the field. The problem that I'm having is that people are going down there investigating, and it's just not enough for them. So now they're deciding, okay, we're going to be a group, and we're going to start taking on private clients. And don't have a clue what they're doing. Now, with you having, being, founding your own group yourself out there, are you finding that you get a lot of cases that from private clients that when you talk to them, you find out that they've had other teams come out to help them, and they've maybe made it worse or didn't help them at all?
Oh, yes. So we've had to play cleanup, many times. And I'm not saying that, the way we do things is, the way you should, but I mean, we have very strict protocol, not only for any investigation, but for, a private residence case, as you know, is a completely different type of case than a historical case. Because in the case of the historical sites, a lot of the curators and owners of these sites know the place is active. They know the claims. It's more or less the team wanting to reach out and do some research. But when you have clients living in homes or apartments or what have you that have legitimate concerns, are scared, want validation that they're not crazy, what have you, then you have teams going in there being unethical, not knowing what they're doing, leading the clients on, divulging information that should never be divulged. It's sad. And we've had to play cleanup several times on findings. And, there are some teams in San Diego that I would never, ever refer a case to. There are about three teams here in San Diego, including mine, that I would say are capable of handling a private residence case. The rest, I don't see it. I don't see stability of the members. I see exploitation. I see, not being able to have interpersonal skills, and you have to have all that in order to, be a successful and really listen to the client's needs. I mean, we had a case once where the client had a team go in, and the team was just, the minute they walked in, was just saying, oh, you have this in your house, you have this in your house, you have this in your house. The client came to us just like, oh my God, I feel totally worse. I'm ready to leave my home now. So we had to play major cleanup, and it's about education too. Not every case warrants an investigation. Some clients just need validation, or maybe they didn't realize, wow, their house is old and the foundation's off, or it's plumbing or electric lines or what have you. So it's important. I'm glad that you brought that up, because with private residence cases, you just need to, and everyone that's on the case has to have the same type of dedication to it. I mean, I've had to kick a couple people off the team before, and I've learned my lesson. Now we're way more strict with who we take on, but we had this person on our team once, and that went up into with the homeowner in the closet area, and this person was like, "Oh, something's bad in here." Okay, that just freaked out the client, and so we had to educate this particular member who is no longer with us. You know, words are powerful. You know, this type of person felt that every type of energy out there is negative and bad and all this. So, you know, it's sad. It really is. But I agree with you. I think there are a lot of people going into homes that should not. And it's sad. It really is sad.
And you figure, I mean, nowadays, all, people have to do to become, a group is, have a friend and be able to create a Facebook page. And, and many people, and many people lie, I mean, I've known people, like, personally, literally known people who, met up, had an interest in, the paranormal for whatever reason, kind of got, shadowed, us seeing what we were, doing, things like that. And then now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, now all of a sudden, the person claims to have been, investigating the paranormal, cryptozoology, UFOs, everything I did for, over 25 years. Now they want to mentor kids like I do. I mean, it's just, it blows me away because I'm just like, really? Like, I mean, do you even understand what, you're doing? People don't get that, again, taking on a private client's home is it's so different from just investigating it. And I don't think people get that because they see these TV shows and, it just makes it look super interesting. And it's not, we've had so many cases that other teams have come in and, riled everything up, went in, provoking, all kinds of stuff, and then, or go in and have no clue on what to do next when they actually encounter something. So then they leave this family who's already has been terrorized, which is the reason, they're contacting people in the first place. Now they're being victimized a second time or a third time because, the people that are coming out don't know what the hell they're doing. And, there's so much, again, even for me or for anybody who's been doing it, forever, there is no training in this field. There isn't. I mean, let me take that back. Let me take that back. There are people out there charging to, teach you to be an investigator, which I feel is a waste of money because most of these people who are giving these classes don't have much of a clue themselves. I think that the information should be available for free to anybody because I think that if we're going to have these people out there investigating, it's very important that they know how to do it correctly because they're not only... you can end up, putting the client's, family at risk, your team, or yourself. I mean, I've seen teams that have ended up, trying to take on something that they don't understand. They end up getting an attachment themselves or a family member, or they take something follows them home and starts affecting, their family and children, and then before long, here you're supposed to be the quote-unquote, expert, and now you're the client. So...
exactly. I mean, I know for P.P.R.S, and we are one of the teams in San Diego that does specialize in private residence cases. We don't do any type of case that is deemed malevolent or something, that may have non-human type of negative energy. That's just, we refer up to a client that specializes in that up in LA. So we take on more like level 1s and level 2s. But, I mean, we have permission forms, we have liability waivers, we have probably close to 100 interview questions just on our form alone, not other types of questions that arise throughout the interview. We're very, very, very protocoled and meticulous and methodological. What's the word? Methodological. Wait, is it methodological? I'm sorry, I've had a long day today, so I'm making two wires aren't connecting there. Methodical. Thank you. Very methodical approach and we're very, very careful with what is said to the client, how it's said. You know, if we were to capture evidence or data that's suggesting something we can't explain, we're very careful in how we word that to the client. We write case reports with our findings and our personal experiences and environmental meter fluctuations and, you know, all of that. We're very methodical. We're very careful in our investigations. And, you know, you need that. If you're going to have a bunch of people going into a case, a private home that have no idea what they're doing, oh, my gosh. I mean, and you could considerably affect someone's life. I mean, you can affect their well-being, you can affect their emotions, you can affect their work environment. I mean, you know, it's just sad, and I think I agree with you. I think that there should be some standard training for everyone in the field that is new to it, and especially those that want to be able to specialize in private residence cases. There should be this standard training for everyone. So then, you know, we're comfortable and we know that, okay, they've received this training. We feel comfortable with them now taking on the case. And, you know, maybe you struck a gold mine. When I say a gold mine, I'm not talking about monetary. I'm talking about gold mine in the sense of benefit to the paranormal research field at large. I mean, maybe you someday can help develop and make, you know, a centralized, you know, training for paranormal researchers, just like the military has, you know.
Yeah.
Have a centralized training if you have for paranormal research. I think that that's something that could be done. I think it's necessary.
Yeah. It's actually interesting that you say that, because my team, that is one of our goals. Like, I just have so much stuff going on right at this time that it's hard to do. But we are in the process of, you know, creating a whole series of free YouTube videos that, you know, talk about, you know, paranormal investigating 101, you know, the different all the different equipment, how to use it, how you can get false negatives, things like that. I also recommend to anybody who's actually getting into the paranormal field that they should go to their, you know, local Parks and Recreation or community college or anything like that, adult ed, and take a simple photography class.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, my God, even a research class.
Yes.
And knowledge. I mean, it's just so valuable. I mean, you know, our team, we used to have our minimum age requirement be 21, right? And just based on experience, so that's too young. So we've upped it. No one under the age of 25 can join the team. And,
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, we have on our website, go on there, SanDiegoParanormalResearch.com, if you go under About, scroll down, you'll see team bylaws. You know, that gives you an idea of how serious we are.
Oh, absolutely.
How, you know what I mean? I mean, I know that your team is like that, too. And
but we have contracts that we make, you know, everybody sign, and, you know, non-competition clauses, and, you know, I mean, confidentiality, all these kind of things, because, you know, again, you see so many, you know, things that happen that just out of the blue that you would never expect to, you know, happen or deal with. But I do so believe that, you know, educating people will help a lot, because, again, right now, it's like, I just don't get the whole competition, you know.
I don't either.
I don't give a damn who, you know, captures the best evidence, and, you know, great, so be it, you know, but it seems like it's all about ego and competition, because I see teams that, like, they'll go and they'll investigate somewhere, and then it's like they call dibs, like they don't want anybody else to be able to investigate that location, you know, they only want it for them. And, you know, or they want to try to debunk everybody else's stuff to make their, you know, themselves look better. I mean, people don't get it, that if we all work together, like, we, you know, so much progress. And it's like it's not like there's $1 million reward, you know, for whoever brings forward, you know, evidence of the existence of the paranormal. I mean, other than, you know, maybe your you know, picture, but if anything, it's probably going to be, you know, bring more attention, you know, of haters to you than anything else from skeptics.
Oh, I know.
So I'm like, so be it.
I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, how is the field going to advance? Or if someone's trying to research a particular location,
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't it make sense to have different teams with different styles go in? Obviously, the responsible and respectful ones go in. You know, if it's just one team at the same time, I mean, you may have limited results. I mean, and then along the lines of being an intuitive, which I do work, my team works both intuitively and scientifically. We like to blend the two. If you have 4 or 5 different teams that go in that may have a slightly different methodology, a methodical type of approach than you do, it brings more to the table.
Absolutely.
I'm with you on that. I just don't understand it. And it's just something that, it's just, our field is limited and it's held back by this type of behavior. And it's just something that I take it to heart because, I care so much about the field. I care about clients getting the best help they can get. And we're not going to be able to advance as a collective whole. But I would like to see all of us that are really putting in dedicated time to research the paranormal, all of us together as a collective team, working together. But I'm with you. I don't see that happening in the near future because of, the ego and the drama and the nonsense that goes along with it. It's so sad. It's just so sad. And for the spirits and energies and earthbound energies, what have you, they feel, especially if they're intelligent, obviously residual energy is not going to really tap into this, but they're going to feel the brunt of it too. And it's sad. I just keep saying it's sad. I mean, we're at the point now because we've had a few people in the past that, I don't know where my head was when I decided to take them on and with us. It's not just my decision who comes on the team. It is really a team decision. So it's just, you know what I mean? I want all of us, we're all equals. I may have founded it. I may, be the director of it, but then I like all of us that are involved in the team to have, wear the director hat, and we're always cohesive and collaborative, and, we're always on the same page. And everyone has a say into who finally gets on the team, and we have probationary periods and that sort of thing. We now require background checks. You know what?
Right.
I mean, if you're really serious about, being on a team and doing, diligent work, and of course, we all have full-time jobs and, family, health, and work and all that comes first. But, if you're really passionate about the field and really want to help out, I would think that someone would be willing to do a background check.
You would think.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just. I mean, we've had to make our membership guidelines a lot more strict in the past couple of years because of the craziness that's out there.
Exactly. And the thing is that when you first start out, again, this is how the field is ever changing. And good and bad. And the thing is that you kind of learn all this stuff through trial and error. And you'll start out in, I myself, even before I founded, my team, I was on another team for many years. And at the beginning, at the beginning it was great. It seemed like, okay, this is, a good place. And, there was lots of investigations. But again, being a psychic, as time went on, the team started changing, and it was more about, getting their own TV show or getting attention and writing articles and, videotaping everything and, doing interviews and being asked to, on TV, being asked to, lie to make it sound better. And these are all things that I wasn't going to compromise my integrity. It wasn't going to happen.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly.
So,
I've been emailed by several producers in the past and, doing a couple of pilots here and there, and I decline it because I have a long list in any type of media work. I have a very long list of criteria that needs to be met for me personally. If I'm personally not depicted as being a genuine, dedicated paranormal researcher. If I'm depicted anything other than that, I will decline. It's not, and my goal is not to be on TV. That's just not my goal. I've been on a couple of shows here and there. But, those are like my ghost story, and then Travel Channel's ghost stories, which I think is off the air, but I was on the episode about Linda Vista Hospital. That's benign. There's no fakery, there's no, trying to fool the public. I will not even touch anything that is not going to be honest and genuine. It's unfortunate. A lot of these new shows that are coming on TV, I find, they're scripted. There's a lot of fakery going on, and what a way to lose your credibility. It's a great way to have it all flushed down the toilet.
Right.
If that's someone's goal to be in the paranormal because they want to be in the limelight, then they shouldn't be in the paranormal. Right. I kind of equate it to, I'm a nursing student, I'm a career changer, so I'm in nursing school. If people want to be a nurse just because nurses make pretty good money and nothing else, then you're not going to survive. You have to have that passion, you have to have that desire to study and to learn from others. Because, a team's a team. You rely on your members, you learn from your members, and that's how it should be.
Well, we actually have a question here in chat from Alexis, and she's asking, I guess this is actually for...
Her name is Alexis?
It's for both of us, yes. And it says, how do you all protect yourself before going into a home or place to do these investigations? So you wanna start? You guys
sure.
do?
I think that spiritual protection is of utmost importance. And, we have a protocol that if anyone has had a bad day, kind of in a grumpy mood, maybe, or they're not feeling well, they're under the weather, they cannot investigate. Because you have to have that, you have to be able to be grounded and centered in order, because spiritual energy can be vulnerable. And if you're not feeling well, or if you're mentally or emotionally not, at your best, and we have all had bad days, it's just not really healthy for you or the location or, your other team members to really put yourself in that situation. So people have to be healthy and grounded. And then also we encourage individual ways of applying protection, meditation, putting on, visualizing yourself in an all-encompassing pure light, imagining all the negative energy just ricocheting off that nice, pure white field that you have around yourself. We also have a group thing that we do that helps to center everyone and ground everyone. We also have an opening statement and a closing statement too, but that opening statement sets the tone for the rest of the night or the rest of the day as to how that investigation goes. We set the intent, and we let spiritual energy know that our intent is to not harm, to not hurt, it's just to get to know the spiritual energy and learn about, their story. And we set the intent as, being available to help if needed. So instead of very positive intent going in, and those are all the types of things that we do to try to ensure that, as a team and individually, that we're mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically grounded. So.
Right. Yeah, and we're kind of the same way. Like with me, if I'm ill, I won't, go. And people need to understand. It's very, very important. If your health is not, and not even just your health, say if you're sick, but if you're under a lot of stress or, having a lot of problems, things like that, going to an investigation, especially if there's any kind of report of anything, dark or anything like that, because if you are not at 100% when you go in, you are going to be a direct target.
Oh, absolutely.
people don't understand that. A lot of times people don't even understand as far as the protection. Now, my group, we have 15 investigators, 2 different divisions. All of our team investigators have been trained on both sides. So, we do cryptozoology, we do it all. But we are a very eclectic team. Most of my team has some type of abilities, whether they may be a psychic, they may be empathic, they may be a sensitive, whatever it may be. We also have some skeptics. We also take people... Pardon me?
It's healthy to have a healthy dose of skepticism.
Great. Absolutely. Because, again, people think because I'm a psychic that I think everything's paranormal. And my team, and in fact, the other team I had started out on actually got kind of irritated with me because I was always debunking stuff on cases. And, they were like, well, that's not good. I mean, what kind of a story are we going to have if you debunk everything? Well, for me, I'm not going to go out and tell people that there's something else going on, or something happening if there's not. If there's a rational explanation, I, better than everybody, know that not everything is paranormal.
Right, exactly.
So we have a very eclectic team. We have all the people have different like that, and I would get, questions all. Are you there? I mean, how can you guys not all be Christian? How can you be all these different, backgrounds and religious beliefs and, things like that, and it works? And I tell people all the time, it is the intent.
It is.
Intent behind what you are going.
Yeah.
I would
the intent. Absolutely.
And I will say that, having so many different religious beliefs, backgrounds, things like that, has actually been a great asset to our team because one of the things that, people don't realize that are new going into a team, many people, depending, say if they're Christian or Catholic or whatever their background is, they'll go and learn how to either, do a Catholic blessing or cleansing or a smudging or whatever it is that their beliefs are. But say you're Catholic, okay, and you go to, a Muslim's or an atheist's house. They are not going to appreciate you walking through, throwing around holy water, reading out of the Bible. That's not what they're about. Same thing with American Indians, things like that. They're very specific things. Also, if you have a case that, out here living in Northern California, we have, a lot of history of, massacres of American Indians, things like that. And so when we have, spirits that are residual spirits are hanging around, to cross them over, we'll get a American Indian shaman, to be able to respect, their beliefs and how they do things. And again, we haven't had any case so far, knock on wood, that we have not been able to help people, help the client.
Here. Exactly. And we do receive very positive feedback from our clients. And there was a case up in this private residence case, and we helped them. And I'll never forget the hug that the clients gave us. And they were actually crying tears of relief, and it kind of made us teary-eyed too a little bit. So
of course,
that you form, those rapport that you form, and you're able to leave that site knowing that the family is okay. Like we will not leave a site until we know that the family is, okay with things. If they're still uncomfortable, we'll work on it until they find some closure or feel comfortable with things. And you just, you have to be able to be there and be dedicated. And like you said, with different belief systems and customs, you have to be able to know about that and to respect it.
Right. Well, the thing again that we have to remember as, teams, investigators, researchers, is that, we need to help and respect our clients and what our clients' wishes and beliefs are. So the more information and the more training and the more educated, we are as a team, the better that we can help our clients.
Absolutely.
And, this is the reason I'm doing all this, so it's like that's my main goal. Anybody who knows me knows I don't care about competition with anybody. I don't have, this ego thinking that I'm better than anybody. I'm the first one. If I have a case and it's something, like, I don't personally take on or do any demonic, reported cases or, things like that. But I will absolutely, I know some of the, top people in the field, and I can definitely, get them the help that they need. But, I see a lot of people that, again, their egos want to, play in, and they think that, they can take on everything. And that,
you can't. You can't.
So we're coming up at the top of the hour, and so for the second hour, I do want to obviously talk about the Queen Mary and, experiences that you've had there. But we also want to, I do want to talk about, some of the, positives and downsides, still that we are experiencing, in this field.
As well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also want to get your, your opinion on the topic of Ouija boards and, different types of equipment and stuff that is out there, for people to use as well. So we'll have a very exciting second hour for everybody. Boy, I'll tell you, these 2-hour shows, they speed by so quickly, it just seems like barely anything, and an hour is gone.
I know. It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't been on Pod Basis show in a while, but I went through a period where I was on a long time, and I swear sometimes it would go to like 3 hours. It's like 2 hours. It's like flies by.
Yes. Most people like 2 hours, like it's going to be forever, and it's like goes by so quickly. People don't even have a clue. So, I just want to say for everybody in chat, if anybody is not in chat and they were trying to get in, we did have a few issues, and so we have privatized the chat. So we invite you to continue listening live. But as far as for chat, you won't be able to get in. We're trying to take care of this problem so that we can, better kind of oversee all this. But, again, in this field, and maybe that's another topic that, we will deal with is, the kind of drama, that is ensuing in the field, and, what direction is it taking the field? So, got lots of good things. Anybody, if you would like, you're more than welcome to, who are in chat, to post your questions there. You can also, if you've already got me in on Facebook, you can private message me. You can go to the DTM Wicked Radio Network Facebook page, and you can post the questions there. Multiple ways for you to be able to ask questions, as well as you can always call in. The phone number is area code 607-349-0410. So, all right, we've got about 1 minute, and then we will just take a couple-minute break so our guests can get something to drink, or just take a quick break, and we'll let everybody have a quick couple-minute break as well for the listeners. So, Tiffany, if you can hear us, we'll go ahead and let us know when we can take that break. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Paranormal Connections. I am your host, Christina George, and we are back for our second hour with our guest, Nicole Strickland of San Diego Paranormal Research Society. The very first hour, we have been kind of talking a little bit about everything. And the second hour, we are going to as well talk about a lot of good things. We're going to talk about the Queen Mary. We're going to talk about the drama and the paranormal, different tools, things like that. So, again, stick with us for the next hour. If you have questions, feel free to put them out on Facebook or on the DTM Facebook page or website. And you can also call in to the show at area code 607-349-0410. So, Nicole, I guess start with my first question is let's talk about some of the tools that are used and have been used for a very long time in the paranormal, whether it be good or bad. We hear a lot of info about Ouija boards. And it seems like everybody has, a different opinion, and it kind of seems like for a while nobody really, was dealing with Ouija boards, but, with all the paranormal shows and things like that, it just seemed to kind of almost recreate it, and it is now, people are very interested in these Ouija boards. What are your personal opinions on Ouija boards? Good, bad? What are your feelings?
I was looking at pieces of equipment for methodology, but specifically addressing Ouija boards. I don't use them. I don't like using them. My team doesn't use them. I find that a lot of people in the field, or not just the field, but people in general use them, and they just, if you don't know what you're doing, it's not a good tool to use. There are some people in the field that feel, oh, it's just a board, it's just another method of communication, and in a way that is true. But if you're not going in with positive intent, or if you're being disrespectful, if you just plain don't know what you're doing, I don't recommend using it. I personally feel that there can be some negative consequences that do arise from using the board. It's just something that I stay away from. But to be fair to those that do like to use them, if they know what they're doing and they're going in and being responsible and with a positive intent and respectful, could it just be another form of communication? Yes, but I err on the side of caution, and I don't use them. So those are my thoughts.
Right, and I agree. Back before we had any of our electronics, we had Ouija boards, we had pendulums, we had dowsing rods, we had all different types of things. And again, these are all tools. Now, they can be used for good, they can be used for bad. One thing with Ouija boards is many people have no real clue what they're used for, how to use them properly, how to open them properly, close it down properly, etc. They also tend to think that if they pop onto the Ouija board and say, hey, I want to talk to, Uncle Joe or so-and-so, and they start getting answers, they seem to think that, oh, it must be Uncle Joe. How great. I will tell you, I have very rarely ever been around somebody who say he's done a seance and called upon a specific, a spirit of a specific person, and have that person actually show up. And the thing with me, the fact that I can actually see them, see the spirits, as well as communicate with them, it's a little different than other people who can say, okay, well, there is some kind of spirit here, must be the person that they're, talking about. Again, when you open these doors, anybody can come through, and you don't normally get who you're wanting to get. The other thing is that once you open these doors, a lot of times for people, it will start out okay, and everybody will be fine, and then all of a sudden something will usually happen that either the person, doesn't recognize and realizes, I don't think this is Uncle Joe. Something, is said that scares them. They no longer want to do the Ouija board. They either throw it away, get rid of it, throw it in the box real quick, but they don't know that they're supposed to shut it down, how to do that. So they end up, although they put this board away, they have opened a portal which has been left open and can continue to cause, allow things to come in that can cause a lot of issues. Now, have you seen the new Ouija boards for kids that have been marketed quite a lot in the last year or two? The Barbie Ouija boards for little girls, and the glow-in-the-dark Ouija boards for little boys.
Right, I have, and it just cracks me up, and I'll admit, back when I was in middle school, my girlfriends and I played with the board. We did the whole game, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Yeah, right. We did that. But they do. If you do use the board, or pretty much with any type of device, really, you can open doors, and you may not be aware that you're opening them. And those doors don't just shut by themselves. Once they're open, they're open. And
absolutely.
Unless, there's someone steps up to the plate and really tries to work hard at setting them, now, with that new movie that's coming out called Ouija, it's becoming like this sensational type of thing, and it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous, especially for teenagers and children who are vulnerable yet, maybe going through puberty and whatnot, and they're more vulnerable than adults to lower level type of energy. So I just say don't use it. That's my personal feeling.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Again, in fact, somebody had sent me a link to something that the guy from Live Paranormal was doing at the Sally House, and so I actually know the people who used to live there, and so he was doing an overnight, and he at every investigation he does does it live, and he always uses a Ouija board, and my co-host of The Darker Side of the Paranormal, Sean Austin, when he actually first got into the paranormal, he was invited, by the owner of Life Paranormal to go and do some cases out there in the New York area with him, and he did, and that was he said, was one of the worst parts about it is, that this guy feels that Ouija board is, nothing bad can happen to you if you use a Ouija board. So, again, that's people's personal opinions, but, not only have I had my own personal experiences, but I've, had plenty of people I've known and plenty of clients that a lot of times their activity starts after interaction with, dealing with a Ouija board.
We've had a few that have, or it's with us, so we've had a few that have dabbled, Ouija board, whatnot, or the activity suddenly starts after they start watching the TV shows. And that's actually one of our interview questions. When did the activity start? Okay, all right, it started this month. When did you start watching the shows? Oh, really? You watched, okay, so the activity started right as you started watching the shows. Okay, it's crazy. It's hilarious even. But I just don't use them.
Yeah, it do. We're actually going to be doing like a little public movie thing, so we're letting the public come with us to go see the movie Ouija, and then after that we're going to take them out investigating in the old Sacramento area here. And when we do this, a couple times a year, we try to find a movie, and then we'll get together afterwards and do a meet and greet and talk about the movie and things like that. And again, I think that it's important for people, to understand if you are going to use specific tools, then you need to know how to use them correctly. Because again, good or bad, if you need to educate yourself, and that is the biggest thing. We keep, people, not we, but many people keep using television as a way to learn. And on the break, we were talking. Anybody who knows my show absolutely knows that I am not a Ghost Adventures. Truly the way things are. There's probably been plenty of investigators that have sat in a dark room all night long and got nothing.
Right.
Or
that's it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, and we tell people that aren't really, because we posted tours and stuff at a couple haunted locations in San Diego, and some of the people that go on the tours were like, you know what? It's not what you see on TV. A lot of the times, we're sitting in the dark, and it's very boring.
Right. There's not a lot of. Well, if you look at their show, every week it's something demonic. It's always something crazy. And again, the first thing that they do all the time is provoking. And I am 100% against that. I think anybody who's out there doing that. In fact, I've even had, people that come up to me and, they'll say, I don't think that, provoking has anything to do with, anybody getting attacked or hurt or anything. Bull crap. It doesn't even have to be, anything per se demonic. You can have a regular human spirit who was not very nice in life, and since they haven't crossed over, they're still not very nice people in death. So until they cross over, that's the way it is. And if you're out there, it would be no different than if, I went to your house and I just come in your face and I just start calling you every name in the book.
I know. Yeah.
You're probably going to get, communication. I have never provoked, never had to, and we've always been able to interact. And in fact, I think being more respectful of, the spirit, that gets you a lot, further than, trying to provoke a spirit, into interacting with you. It's, again, it is just so crazy on how things are now. I know that Ghost Adventures, I had seen on TV the other night, that their season debut was an investigation that they did on the Queen Mary, right?
Right, yeah, it sure was. And, I've had to play cleanup with some people. Before I get into that, we don't tolerate provoking at all either. It's absolutely forbidden. And I'm like you, I don't need to provoke, nor would I ever want to. I don't care if the person that we're communicating with was a serial killer in life. That person is dead now. Treat that person with respect. It's just, and I agree. For example, I tend to be an EVP magnet. One of the theories I have for that is because I am respectful. I don't just turn on my recorder. And hit record and say, "Okay, talk to me." I have this whole little introduction that I do.
There you go.
And such the intent. That's why I think I get responses, because I go in showing respect and I'm pleasant. I've never been scratched, although I do feel that sometimes a mark on the skin that looks like a scratch may not be really a scratch. It just be the body's way of reacting to whatever touched them. But I don't ever get cuss words said to me or anything like that. And I think it's because I go in with the utmost respect. And in regards now getting to that Queen Mary episode, and I don't watch the shows, I don't, but I wanted to watch this particular episode because it's, about Queen Mary. I got through 6 minutes of it, and I've had to play cleanup. There is nothing at all whatsoever evil, demonic, negative about the Queen Mary. Yes, the Queen Mary has seen its share of death. It's seen its share of tragedy, especially during World War II. But that does not mean that the energies on there are malevolent and wanting to hurt people. Yeah, you have a lot of earthbound energies on the ship. Some the World War II era. It also attracts, I think, my opinion is that the ship is one big portal. It's used to attract spiritual energy. So you do have passerbys that come through. That may not be they may not have been the nicest people in life. It may still be like that in death. But to portray the Queen Mary as being a ship with evil forces, and I'm quoting that from the show, is an absolute sin. The Queen Mary, and I've been investigating this ship now for almost 20 years. It's a huge passion of mine. I'm telling you right now, that ship has a beautiful, beautiful spiritual aura. Beautiful. There is nothing at all evil at all on that ship. Nothing. And specifically addressing Jackie, this little spirit that is most commonly associated with the former first and third class school. Again, she's not a documented death on the ship. We don't know where she came from. There's no forensic evidence saying that a 6-year-old, 7-year-old girl by the name of Jackie passed away on the ship at all. I mean, there's speculations that perhaps she comes from the Titanic. Perhaps her dad was a soldier during World War II, and she's on the ship because of that. We don't know, but I mean, this little girl who has identified herself as being Jackie, a lot of times people think, people just go and call the name Jackie, and perhaps her name really isn't Jackie, but people call her that. She has actually told me and told other people that her name is Jackie. She is a true spirit, the most precious, intelligent, lovable little spirit that you'll ever meet. And I know not every place you go to, there's going to be a sweet little girl. I know that. But I can rest assured you that Jackie is real, and that she's nothing but pleasant and lovable. So to portray her as being a demon is just, it's beyond me. It's beyond me. It's a sin. It really is a sin. And the Queen Mary, besides being a luxury cruise liner pre-World War II and post-World War II, it helped her, the efforts of the Queen Mary and her sister Queen Elizabeth during the war helped not only lessen the duration of World War II, but she saved numerous men, women, and children. I mean, that ship was designed in 1934 as a ship of peace. And you go on board, and that's what you feel. When I step on board, I feel like I'm home. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like I said, it has such a beautiful spiritual aura. So I was very, very, very mortified with how that particular show portrayed the Queen Mary.
Right, and I've actually known a lot of people who have went there, and or stayed there. In fact, one of my girlfriends just went on a cruise, and she stayed on the Queen Mary the day prior to her going.
Oh, wow.
And that's exactly what she's saying, that, you definitely can sense that there's a lot going on there. But, again, nothing that she felt was anything, I was tell you that after she had, that's how I found out about the whole episode, where she was saying that Ghost Adventures went there and said it was just, a horrible place, and, people could get hurt, all kinds of stuff. And she's like,
yeah.
And I was all freaked out when I went there, and she's like, it was completely different than what I thought. And just like you said, there can be a lot of tragedy, there can be a lot of death, but it does not mean that just because, there are spirits there that they, are going to do anything to hurt you. It's crazy.
I've been not only visiting the ship for pleasure, and I've stayed numerous times on board on all 3 different hotel decks. And I've done numerous paranormal projects on board. Not one time have I ever encountered something sinister and extremely negative. Not one time. And I've also been working with Jackie for nearly 10 years as well, and she's anything but being a negative demon like she was portrayed. She's a real spirit. Unfortunately passed away when she was a little girl, but for some reason she feels content on the ship. I don't feel that she's stuck on board. I feel that she is there for a reason, almost as if she has a purpose. What that purpose is, I don't know, but she is the sweetest little I mean, like I said, I got through maybe 6 to 7 minutes of that episode. I didn't even watch the rest of it, but I have had people tell me, you know, what was said after and that sort of thing. So it's really a disgrace. It really is. I mean, it's a huge disrespect to the Queen Mary and for everything that ship has done for humanity. It's just so sad. So.
Well, I can't wait to get out there to, you know, check it out myself. You know, but again, this is one of the problems that I have about, you know, Ghost Adventures, because as well, you know, living in the Northern California area, they have actually came and investigated many locations out near me. And a couple of them, I mean, personally, like I used to dossier at the Preston Castle. And, you know, when they were saying, you know, the lead, you know, kind of like the lead mother, you know, the house mother for the boys, and she was the housekeeper and cook and stuff like that, was murdered out there. And that was the episode that, you know, had all these, you know, amazing hits and stuff, because this is when he was supposedly, quote unquote, you know, becomes possessed by the spirit of this lady. And first of all, you know, this person is not a demon or anything like that. You know, it's a lady's spirit. So first of all, how it's going to possess him, I was kind of thrown off by that. But, you know, I went there, and the thing is that multiple places, that was one of them, the Moss Distillery, out on the coastline, and there's a couple of other ones, all had said that after they left and it was aired, they twisted things and lied about things so badly that these locations they'll never allow them back, ever.
Yeah, which is a good thing, because it's, you know, pathetic.
Right. I mean, and is that kind of how, you know, everybody felt like when the show came out about the Queen Mary?
Yeah, I and the people that I've talked to, yes. I mean, even, you know, my friend Matt, who does the late night weekend tours, paranormal investigation tours on the 5th, and he's having to play cleanup on his tour and addresses it, you know. I mean, it's just, you know, and I've heard from other people, too, that they'll come out, you know, in other locations in Southern California, and I've heard from other people, too, that know about other locations in SoCal that they've gone to. It's the same thing. They get the history wrong, they twist it, they portray something as being demonic and evil when it's not, and it's just, you know, I don't get it. I just don't. It's a foreign language to me. I just don't get it.
But that's why people need to remember that what they see on TV is entertainment.
Right,
it is not true life. I mean, you know, it's maybe, I almost see it like, you know, almost like a recreation type thing, you know, more than a reality show, because, you know, it is not live. When they make it seem as if, you know, all this stuff goes on, many of these things are recreated. They do multiple takes so that they can get the right look for the startle, you know, or when they jump, or, you know, something to give them that reaction. People don't understand that. You know, they think that this is like, okay, they just had a, you know, camera going on them, you know, the whole time, and all of a sudden, you know, it's like they just went through all this stuff and put it all together. No, it's not that. You know, again, it is entertainment, and that is, you know, why they do this, is for the, you know, all of the ratings. I mean, I mean, how many, in your line of work, how many cases have you gotten or come up against that you truly felt that there was something very malevolent or demonic about the case?
One out of all the cases
okay.
And one, in that case, obviously, we referred out to our consultant up in LA, and of course, I wanted to be sure and play it safe, and he gave the clear, like, no, this isn't, and that's what I thought in the beginning, but yeah, one.
But again, just like me, you know, and I'm going to be 47, and I've been, you know, this has been part of my life, and it's been, I've never seen a true possession. And although, I do believe that I have had, there have been a few cases that have been something pretty dark. I still don't really know about, call it demonic or not, but as far as that, it's like, but if you look at these shows, it's like every single week they've got something demonic.
I really? I mean, it's like I said, it's that R word, and it's R for ratings. But it's like, like that. I mean, don't people get tired of that? I mean, to me, it's not even enjoyable to, sit there and watch. It's just...
So as far as the Queen Mary, I mean, what have been some of your personal experiences there over the years that maybe the top ones that you've experienced?
I've had a lot of experiences on the ship. One that I can recall that is a pretty profound personal experience and really took a lot of energy on the part of the spirit that was involved. I was laying in bed in the morning. I was awake, of course, and all of a sudden I kind of heard like a doorknob or the bathroom door open, and I locked that door shut the night before, so it's not like it was cracked open and it, could have moved for whatever reason. It was shut, and I heard it open, and so I looked at the bathroom and I saw that the door had been opened, completely unlatched and open, and I saw the bottom portion of a leg and a foot, and the person had like a black pantsuit on and shiny black shoes. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm watching this play out, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. The door remained open, and so then I'm like, okay, really, whatever, because I've had many types of experiences on the ship. So then I proceeded to just lay down. I was awake. I wasn't asleep, and then all of a sudden I felt two hands press on me, not in a negative way, but just kind of press on me, and I felt that. And I kind of reacted to it, and then laid back down, and it did it again. And then I sat up in bed, and then I was like addressing whoever was in the room. And then about 5 minutes later, after that had died down, I heard shuffling of our grocery bags because we had gone shopping and bought some snacks. And the sound of as if someone's rummaging through a plastic bag. That was for plus footsteps. I mean, this whole thing lasted about a minute. So that was something very profound. I've seen apparitions on board. I've seen there's a shadow person phenomenon. I'm not talking about the classic shadow person. I'm just saying shadow figures are seen a lot on the ship. Disembodied voices. It's very, very audio friendly. So the piece of equipment that I would take with you on board is the Zoom or, digital voice recorder. It's very audio friendly. Pretty much any area on the ship you can have an experience. There are so-called hot spots on the ship, various ones, but in my opinion, any area you can have a really cool experience. So, I mean, some of my most profound, I guess, paranormal personal experiences and even captured data have been from the Queen Mary. So it's definitely active. I would say that it definitely is haunted. I don't necessarily like using that word, but there's a lot of paranormal energy. A lot of it is residual, but a lot of it is intelligent. I would say 60% intelligent, 40% residual. And then you have, I feel like the ship for some reason is a portal. It attracts spiritual energy. But a lot of the energy that comes through may not necessarily pertain to the ship's history. Spirits that come through may not necessarily be connected to the ship. All of them, you do get captured by, but it just makes for very active locations. All kinds of various, and pretty much any of your senses. You can, I smell things, I've been touched, I've seen, I've heard, I've seen. I haven't really necessarily tasted other than its food. It has really good restaurants on board, but it's seriously one of the most active places I've ever been to. So,
wow,
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a beautiful, ship. I mean, again, I haven't been there myself. It is somewhere that I want to when I go out to LA, to go and check out. But I know so many people who have, visited and sent me pictures and stuff, and just such amazing, things that they get back. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I also saw that, you now, your books are available and you're selling them at the bookstore there, right? Or at the...
Yeah, I actually... there's a bookstore on Promenade Deck, on the port side of Promenade Deck, and Promenade Deck has all the shops and stuff, or most of them, I should say. And it's a gift store called Scratch. And so my first Queen book, The Haunted Queen of the Keys, is sold there. And then they just started selling my first book, which is Field Guide to Southern California Hauntings. So, yeah, I mean, I love to write, and I love the paranormal, so that's why I started writing, and I kind of blended both passions. So, my first Queen Mary book, The Haunted Queen of the Keys, basically gives a pretty thorough overview of the ship's history, and then I grade it with some of the paranormal events that take place. So I'm coming out with a new book on the Queen Mary, and that book is more or less a sister book to The Haunted Queen of the Keys, and it delves more in detail and more in depth on the haunted side of the ship. So it's going to talk about, a lot of my personal encounters on board and data, paranormal, evidence, data. I have colleague encounters in there and some other things. So I'm really looking forward to getting that out. So.
Yeah, sounds amazing. And so when are you hoping to have that out?
I am almost done. I have like 2 or 3 more chapters and then editing and all that. So probably I would say January would be the latest, early January. So.
Well, definitely. Well, when it comes out, you'll have to make sure you let me know, and I
Absolutely.
will definitely have you come on. We'll promote it before it comes out. The other thing also is that I don't know if you're aware, but here at DPM we actually have an author's corner, and so authors, so we can send all of the hosts here if we know people who are authors or things like that. We can put you and all of your books and stuff, and where to get them, all that stuff available on our website. So if it's something you'd be interested in, I'd be happy to set you up with the owners and get that set up. I think that it would be a great asset to the author's corner for sure.
Oh, that would be really amazing. Yeah, that would be great.
Well, great. I'm also for people wanting to know. My website, originally I was going to have a website which was going to be my group website, and then I was going to create pages for my radio shows and things like that. But because there's such a huge following of my shows, I've decided that the website is actually going to be under Paranormal Connections, and then there'll be a page for my group and what we're doing and my appearances and all that kind of stuff. And I'm also going to be linking a lot of my friends' books to our website so that they can purchase them as well and get more people, interested in that are looking for paranormal books, a place that they can find it. So I'd be happy to, help you with that as well.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, I look forward to the new website. And then, like I said, I can link if you have, I'm sure you have banner images, just send those to me in my email, and I can link them on my site as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that would be great. Now, we were talking about, kind of where this field has been going, and unfortunately in the field a lot of us especially myself, we've seen a really kind of it blew up, but really there.
Okay, I just lost connection. One moment.
I'm not sure what happened to Christina, but 1 second.
Oh my gosh, I think we almost lost my phone.
Oh, yeah.
You hear me? Hey, me and electronics, we do not work well, so my phone is like, okay, maybe I don't want you to hear anymore. I don't know.
That's so funny.
So we've been talking about, drama in the paranormal field, and, it's been something that has really been kind of, running rampant over the last few years. I know that I'm seeing it. I've obviously been dealing with it myself, having stalkers and, different things that you get, and just people that, to be actually honest, it has nothing to do with, you being an investigator or anything else. People get, personal issues, like if you don't agree with the way they agree or you don't do what they tell you to do, then all of a sudden, the threats and the drama of, creating a bunch of crap and put it out there just to hurt people. Have you encountered that as well, or do you have, friends or people in the paranormal that you've seen that are going through this as well?
Oh, yeah. I think it's just across. I can't speak for other countries, but I know that across the United States, and I also do some research work for the Ghost Research Society, which is located in Chicago, and I've heard, drama stories as well, with things out there, and, it runs very, San Diego's actually a little bit more benign, which is a good thing, but the LA paranormal scene is just chock full of ego and drama and backstabbing, and it's just not an environment that I want to be in. And I listen to people that are going through it. I've been through it a couple of times myself, and you just...
You still there, Nicole?
No.
Sorry about that. We're back. Are we back on? Nicole, do we have you on?
Okay, everybody's back.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there, but...
Well, nobody knows, Hey, I'll tell you, this stranger things have happened on this show. So.
I know. I'm like, well, I think that was my phone. I think it just somehow hung up. But
well, we all got disconnected, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's weird. But you just have to keep standing up for what you believe in, and you keep doing the work that And this is I'm talking you, meaning everyone. Just don't let things like that bother you and the drama. Just ignore it. Be the bigger person. Rise above it. That's my advice. But it's sad because it is kind of behavior that goes on in the field, and it's stalling it from growing, and evolving in many ways.
Right. I do want to give a little advice to people out there listening because, again, I feel for people because I personally, have experienced, the stalking and harassment and things like that and the lies. And, you have to be careful, number one, the people that you surround yourself with. And even when you're careful, it can still, you never really know somebody because, at some point, everything may be fine in the beginning, and then at some point you may have a difference of opinion. Now, for me, I feel like, people can be fine to agree to disagree. I've never been somebody who feels like everybody has to believe the way I believe or anything. Everybody's, entitled to their own way of thinking. But again, there are other people that, because you won't, agree with them, or you won't do what they say, or you don't have a meeting of the mind, or you get in an argument, these are the kind of things that can happen. The other thing is that, when you are in the public eye, and this is something people, that are investigating need to think about, because a lot of times when you're in the public eye, you're under a lot of scrutiny from, the public. And, you can get people who don't even know you, don't even have a personal vendetta against you or anything. They just don't like the fact that you're you, and this is what we do. And they can go after you. But I always tell people is that they've got to stay positive. For me, it was some of the hardest things I had to do because I was getting hit, but there was a group of them. And, they pulled a family member who, I haven't grown up with since I was very, very young into this. We don't get along. And so it was very hard not to take it, personally, because there were such horrific things, accusations that were being made. And even though I knew that they weren't true, I had put out the evidence to show wasn't true, there were still people that, don't know me or don't know, a lot of things, and they don't do any research themselves. They just, it's like a National Enquirer for the paranormal. Anytime somebody says something and it sounds exciting, it's like they jump on it. But again, the best thing to do for people like these is block them everywhere on social media, and don't pay attention. Because people who are doing this, that's exactly what they want, is attention. And, there's no way, at the beginning I used to, because I knew it was a lie and I knew that, the truth was on my side, I would try, people would say, well, what's going on? They'd want my side. And then when I would tell my side, then, there'd be people who'd say, well, if it's not true, why would you defend yourself? And then, it's like the other people are like, well, if it's true, why aren't you defending yourself? So you're never going to make everybody happy. So the best thing is just to avoid stuff like this. These are distractions to keep you from doing what you're called to do. We know that we help people. For me, that's all that I care about. I don't get paid. I don't make any money. I'm not trying to be this famous star. None of this kind of stuff. So, if people think they're going to go out and, ruin my reputation or my credibility, so be it, go for it. I mean, it hasn't happened so far. I mean, how can people be, mad that they're getting help for free and, there's somebody there that's actually helping them and that really does care. But we all have the control over, for our own lives and our own happiness. People always say, oh, my life's so bad because of somebody else. No, it's not. It's because you're allowing them to have that much control over your life and your happiness. So you've got to stay focused on the positive, cut out anybody or anything. That means family, friends, or foes. Anybody that is not, supportive and being positive, you need to get rid of, because that's always going to bring you down. So, go ahead.
So, I was just going to say, and the people that, like to bully or, be disrespectful or, all of it, start drama. I mean, these people aren't really that happy themselves.
No, absolutely not.
No person that is content and happy and, like I said, content with their life is going to go around doing that.
Right, that will spend so much time to try to hurt somebody else who is not hurting anybody else, and people can always tell, too, that a lot of this stuff is usually very personal. I mean, like, my sister was, telling people I killed people for almost 8 years, and every couple of years would pop up and try to, like, recreate the, the story to make it sound better. Yeah, and then, my other, stalker, then he jumped on the bandwagon and, for the last couple of years, try to convince people that, I had warrants out for my arrest, and FBI and the police department, everybody's searching for me, they can't find me, but yet everybody in the public can, So, we have to be very careful when we hear stuff to not just jump on the bandwagon and believe this crap just because somebody's saying mean, there's so much that people will say now, you know, for all different kinds of reasons that, you know, it's really best to stay out of all that crap because it's just rampant in this field. So the best way to do is stay away from it. You see that, you know, there are certain people that always tend to be slamming people or, you know, creating drama. Get as far away from them. So looks like we got about 10 more minutes left in the show. But I want to, number one, give you an opportunity to talk about any of the upcoming events that you have, any websites that they can check out, ways to contact you, things like that.
Oh, great. Well, my team's website, San Diego Paranormal Research Society, is SanDiegoParanormalResearch.com. So it's all one word, SanDiegoParanormalResearch.com. I also have my personal site, which is spirited-ghost-girl.com. It used to be Ghost Girl Nicole, but I changed it. And again, you can access that through the San Diego, the P.P.R.S site. I also have my own website devoted to the Queen Mary, which is spiritedqueenmary.com. It's all one word, spiritedqueenmary.com. And again, you can access that through the P.P.R.S site. And of course, we're on Facebook, and I'm on Facebook. But so far, I mean, we're focusing a lot on, we have an upcoming investigation at a lodge up in Julian, which is a little mining town, very historic mining town, about 45 minutes northeast of San Diego. So for the next several months, we're going to be focusing on the town of Julian. And I'm slated to be speaking at the Haunting at Tombstone, the Tombstone event.
Yes, we'll be doing that together. Yes.
Yeah, so exciting. And then also, I know me too. And then Bisbee, Arizona, there's going to be an event there in August. I think it's August 7th and 8th? I think it is. 7th and 8th. And then those two so far. And then I do offer paranormal classes, just, you know, as they pop up for people that want to learn how to, you know, do proper paranormal research and that sort of thing. And then I have a couple presentations coming up, both on the Queen Mary here at two local San Diego, the retirement homes. Well, one's through the university, Cal State San Marcos, and then the other is a retirement home. So those are going to be one's in January and the other one's in March. So that's about it. Just nursing school and, you know, continuing writing, coming out with some more books and just teaching and all that. So it's busy.
Well, busy, and it sounds like, you know, everything is going really good, which is awesome. I mean, I'll tell you, it's amazing all the stuff that's going on. I'm definitely looking forward to Tombstone. We've got a lot of really great people in the field that are going to be doing these events. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But I'll tell you, you know, for those of you who have not heard about the Tombstone event, Carol Malone, a.k.a. London Night, with Dark Side Entertainment, is putting this on. And I will tell you, we've got the whole little town, and some of the places in there have never they've never done any investigations, allowed any investigations on, and we're going to have that. And you know, the great thing about this is that it is slated as a family-friendly event. So they will have family stuff and, you know, history, background, stuff like that during the daytime. So they'll have activities for the children, all kinds of stuff like that. And then in the evening, we do have the investigating. There are some very interesting special guests that will be showing up as well. And for those parents that, you know, have children that will be bringing them, and, you know, we don't encourage taking young children investigating on these events. But for those who do bring their children to the event, there is going to be daycare provided. for the children, the parents, need to have watched during the investigating time. So make sure to check that out. You'll be able to find it under the events and on Facebook. I will actually put it on Paranormal Connection webpage. So it's going to be called A Haunting at Tombstone. It's going to be the weekend of May 1st, and definitely going to be an amazing event. You'll be able to see Nicole there, myself, Tony Wolfpaw. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
There's so many people. Boy, I have to say, this is definitely going to be an event to remember. We're going to be investigating. We're going to be investigating at the Birdcage, the Occidental Theater, the Bordello, the Larian Motel, the Tombstone Boarding House, the Old Town Tombstone Saloon, Cemetery and Jail, Dock Holiday Saloon, the Ford Deuces Saloon, Boot Hill, the Brown Cow Murder Cabin, P.R.S. Ghost Town, Gleason Ghost Town, and the Wyatt Earp House. Just to name a few. Can you imagine taking over the town? And there are a lot of people. I assume that this is going to sell out pretty quickly. I know that it's slated for May, and the tickets are already very limited. So make sure to check it out. The good thing about this event is that your ticket price includes not only the investigating, but also your hotel room and your food. So great prices for what you're getting. They even have it where you can pay part of it now and the rest, I believe, in January or something like that. But
yeah, I think so. I think it's set up like that.
Yeah, definitely set up so that people who want to go definitely can go. It's going to be a great thing. We're going to be doing Paranormal Connections there live. You'll be able to come check out my group table as well as the show table. Come by, be on the show live, do a little interview with the guests that are there as well as all the speakers. So, again, I really want to say thank you again, Nicole, for coming on. I mean, it's been great talking to you.
You too. Thank you so much for having me. I think that our discussion was really important, for people to hear, and it's an important subject. So. It is. And, again, I thank you. If you want to send me, private message me over all those links of where everybody can find all your stuff, I'll be happy to put it on the Paranormal Connections page. That way they'll have it all in one place. So if you want to get a hold of Nicole, make sure to check out the Paranormal Connections page, and I will make sure to list all of the links. Make sure to check out her page and her site. Show her some support. Let her know what a great job she did tonight on Paranormal Connections. Definitely make sure before your next book comes out, make sure to let me know. We'll definitely get you set up on that, and I will get you set up as far as the author's corner. Sounds good. I'm going to send you those links right now here on Facebook.
All right, did it there tonight. And you are so very welcome. All right. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Well, we're at the end of the show. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining me tonight, and I hope that you enjoyed our guests. It's been a great night. A lot of interesting topics. I want you to check out Renee Chavez and myself tomorrow, or actually Wednesday night for Aliens, UFOs, and Beyond. We are going to be having a special guest. We're going to be talking about Bigfoot. So for those who are interested, make sure to check us out Wednesday, same time, same network, all the same information. We've got a great month coming, so you definitely don't want to miss out. So make sure that you go to the Paranormal Connections page and show us some support and leave us some feedback. If you would like to see a certain topic or a certain guest on our show, please send me a message and let me know. And if you have a interesting story and you would like to be a guest on Paranormal Connections, make sure to let us know as well. You can either let the DTM network know that you'd like to be a guest on Paranormal Connections, or you can contact me personally, and I'd be happy to put you on the show. So, all right, everybody, it is last minute. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you next week. Good night, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.